I walked away from my six-figure job at just 19 years old in hopes of turning sports betting into a $1 million side hustle. And I'm going to show you guys why that was the best decision that I've ever made. So there I was, working my $120,000 marketing internship straight from my dorm room at just 19 years old. And yeah, that does sound like every kid's dream to be making six figures at such a young age. And a smart person probably would have invested that money, gave it to their parents, used it to start a business, but me, I use it to sports bet. I had a friend tell me to download Prize Picks because he had an absolute lock of a parlay that was supposedly supposed to 10x my money. And he said, yo, these are all locks, put $1,000 on it. He knew I was making money. I knew I was making money. I said, let's do it. I put $1,000 on his parlay, and to no one's surprise, they were not locks. I believe the parlay went 0 for 4, and ever since then I was addicted. So what I would do is I would spend, $300, $500 a month on other people's premium discords because obviously my friend wasn't cutting it, and I thought that these guys knew what they were doing. I saw so many people posting about how they're winning $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 every single month from Prize Picks, DraftKings, FanDuel, from sports betting in general. But I was losing. Over like 4 to 5 months of strictly tailing other people's parlays and trying to research my own parlays, I was down maybe a collective $20,000. And so I knew something had to change. So I was under the impression that sports betting was all about your gut instinct, the hype, and the statistics behind the research that you're conducting on whether the player will go over or under his line for that night. And I realized, wait, the people that are actually winning aren't betting based on their feelings, but they're betting based on data. And what I mean by betting based on data, these data-driven sports bettors compared to the emotional sports bettor have two main differences. One obviously being the data-driven sports bettor completely eliminates all types of emotion from their sports betting. And two, the data-driven sports bettor is playing with an edge over Vegas versus the emotional sports bettor playing with a disadvantage over Vegas. So I did my due diligence and came across two strategies that these data-driven sports bettors are using to profit in the long term against Vegas and these sports books. The first one being positive EV or positive expected value. The next one being something called arbitrage sports betting. So I do have two in-depth videos of what these strategies are and how they work on other videos on this channel. So if you are interested, go ahead and take a look at those and then come back to this one. But long story short, these two strategies are mathematically proven to keep sports bettors in the profit instead of using your emotions to obviously play with the disadvantage over Vegas. So Vegas is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And what do I mean by that? They have so much capital to invest and flood into player research and market analysis to get data way before you have access to any of that stuff. So if you think that you can outsmart these books with your own research and your own $20 subscription service to a research site, my friend, you are sadly mistaken. Take it from me, someone who's been in your shoes before, and not to make the same mistake that I did. You are never going to beat a billion-dollar industry with your own research. And that's why when we're using positive EV and arbitrage sports betting, we're actually able to capitalize off of mispriced lines and errors within the sports betting market and play with an edge over Vegas. Playing with an edge and playing with an advantage is the only way that we're ever going to be profitable long term or be in the net profit. So after doing my own due diligence and a little bit of research back then, in the interim between me losing my $20,000 and me wanting to become a profitable sports bettor, obviously I started to incorporate these two strategies slowly into my betting routine. And to my surprise, my profits skyrocketed. I went from losing $20,000 to being able to analyze data and mispriced odds in the market to winning $20,000 in 1 month. You can obviously tell the major difference that I was losing before, and obviously in my first month of incorporating these strategies, I'm up $20,000, which is everything that I've lost in that 3 to 4 period of me being an emotional sports bettor. So long story short, you always want to make sure that you're using data-driven bets while sports betting. Otherwise, Vegas is always going to win and Vegas is always going to take your money. So this is actually how you can consistently make a lot of money from sports betting by using data-driven bets, mathematical bets, and obviously you can become like me. And this is one of the strategies that I used that led me to quit my $120,000 job and pursue sports betting as a $1 million side hustle that allowed me to retire my parents, move to LA by myself, and all of these other things. So now, instead of making these random bets, I started making informed bets, and like I said before, I started to see a huge skyrocket in my results. But with these strategies, this wasn't the only thing that I incorporated into my sports betting strategy that allowed me to flip, the momentum of me losing to me winning a lot of money. Which brings me to my next point, which is bankroll management. So the second thing I learned is that no matter how good your data-driven bets are, if you don't have proper bankroll management, you will go broke. I made a lot of mistakes that beginners make in the beginning of their sports betting journey, and I got greedy. I would win a couple of bets and I would throw half of my bankroll on the game the next day, and just like that, the bet loses and a month's worth of progress is suddenly gone. So, what is bankroll and how can you effectively manage it? A bankroll is basically the balance in your sports betting account that's allotted to sports betting. So, if you have $1,000 in your DraftKings balance, your bankroll will be $1,000. Similarly, a unit is a subset of your bankroll. So, a unit is anywhere from 1 to 3% of your total bankroll. So, if I had $1,000 bankroll, my unit size would be anywhere from $10 to $30. Now, what is a unit and what is it used for? A unit is basically how much money you are putting on each bet or each slip every single time you place it. Now, what is the importance of being consistent with your bankroll management and your unit sizes? So you need to choose anywhere from 10 to 30%, right? Let's say, for example, I choose my unit size to be $30. I'm going to therefore put $30 on every single bet that I place. I'm not going to be switching in between 30 and 20, 20 and 10. I'm going to be consistent and place $30 on every bet. Now, the reason for this is to mitigate the risk and outweigh the long-term losses compared to the profits and have your wins outweigh your losses consistently, right? Like I said in the beginning, if you are betting 30 bucks on every single slip and then next thing you get greedy and you put 100 bucks on it, that bet loses. Now your ratio is all screwed up, right? So to effectively be profitable using these data-driven strategies, you have to incorporate proper bankroll management. So yes, I was a losing emotional bettor in the first 3 to 4 months of my sports betting journey. I lost $20,000. But instead of letting that discourage me like it would 99% of other people, I use it as motivation to find out how I can incorporate these smart sports betting strategies to win my money back. Because I wasn't going to end on a $20,000 loss. I wanted to make my money back plus more because I knew that there was a way sports bettors were using data-driven bets to win their money, right? So I eventually, after incorporating these sports betting strategies, hit my first $20,000 month. Now, this $20,000 month mark was enough for me to say, okay, this strategies work. I'm going to go all in. Not really all in, but I'm going to put a lot more money in to see where this can take me, right? And this is when I found the OddsJam software. The OddsJam software is a data scraping tool that scans the entire sports betting market across the millions of different sports books to help sports bettors like me and you incorporate things like positive EV, arbitrage sports betting, and bankroll management into our daily betting routines. And with the power of this tool, I eventually hit my first $50,000 month. Now, at this $50,000 mark, obviously, that is a ton of money and over or just under half of what my yearly salary was with my 9-to-5 job. After the achievement of this milestone, I realized that I wouldn't need my 9-to-5 job any longer. So I left behind my $120,000 salary and I never looked back. Now, I'm not telling you to go quit your job tomorrow, nor am I encouraging it, but what I am saying is that if you leave your feelings to the side and you start incorporating these data-driven sports betting strategies, you can make a serious amount of money, right? And if you take it seriously, who knows, maybe it can replace your 9-to-5 just like it did mine. Right, just remember, start small, learn strategies, and scale your bankroll. If you want me to break down exactly, step by step, in full detail of how you can get started, hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and turn your notification bells on because that video is coming really, really soon. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.